Hey, Sophia girl. So I'm calling to tell you about this fried rice and homemade orange chicken that I made. So first I'm going to get my chicken breasts and I'm going to cut off that fat and clean them up, dice them up, put them in a bowl, and I'm going to rinse them off. Then, so after I dice these up, cut off that fat and the ugly pieces that I don't like, I'm going to rinse those, and then I am going to season with 1/4 cup of soy sauce. But I doubled the sauce because I like extra sauce on my chicken. But the original recipe is 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, 1/4 cup of orange juice, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and 1 teaspoon of minced ginger. And then you're going to just set that aside and let it marinate. After you add all of those seasonings, you're going to mix it really well. Mix it together. Yes, I used my hands. I took my jewelry off. Anytime I'm dealing with meat, I take my jewelry off unless I'm wearing gloves. So then I put that aside, and I got 1/3 cup of cornstarch and 1/3 cup of flour. I used more than that because I had more chicken than that. So basically you just mix equal parts of cornstarch with equal parts of flour. You're going to take a teaspoon of that cornstarch and flour mixture and put it with the chicken. And then you're going to mix it together and set it aside. You want to let this marinate for at least 30 minutes before coating it in the flour and cornstarch mixture and frying it. But if you marinate it overnight, your chicken going to be bomb, okay? It's going to be good if you let it 30 minutes, but you know how when you let stuff marinate overnight, it's better. But now to the sauce. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of orange juice, but like I said, I'm doubling it, so don't say, oh, she added more. I'm doubling my sauce recipe, okay? I'm going to add 1/2 cup of orange juice, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of white vinegar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1/4 cup of honey. And then 1 teaspoon of crushed red peppers. I didn't put red peppers in here because my baby was eating this too, and I did it with the crushed red peppers the first time, and that little bit make it spicy. So I did not add the crushed red pepper flakes to this one. But don't forget your 1 teaspoon of sesame oil because I forgot and I had to go back and add it. I'm going to mix that and I'm going to set that to the side. Now you're finna see me chop up 1/4 of an onion and the barbecue teriyaki meat or the barbecue pork. It come in a pack and it say barbecue pork or whatever. I'm going to cut that up. I'm not doing a perfect cut on none of this. I did rinse my meat off. That's why you see me putting it a little bit at a time to the side because it does come in like a pack and it has like red juice on it. I rinse mine off. I dice it up. I'm getting ready to make the fried rice. This is for the fried rice. I made some rice the night before. My rice was not fully cooked. It was like I don't know how to describe. It's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. But yes, this is my big pot, okay? When you see Big Mama come out, that means some big shit. No, I'm just playing. But yes, I got some white rice that I cooked last night. And then I just had it. It's hard. When you have cold rice, it's hard. So I'm finna get a knife and I'm finna chop that bitch up. After I chop it with this knife, because it was way more easier to chop it with the knife versus with the wooden spoon. Then you're going to see me start making this rice. My family, we like our rice fried crunchy. So you're going to see it sitting for a while and it ain't burnt, okay? I'm going to add those onions and that meat and I'm going to mix that around. I'm going to mix that around real good. Yep. I'm going to let that fry a little bit. The meat is warming as well as the onions are cooking because this is a process. Like I said, we like our rice fried hard. So, and we don't want the onions like crunchy. They're going to cook down because we're cooking it. I added those frozen peas and carrots, just the Walmart brand for like 88 cents or some shit. So yeah, I added that and I'm gonna let that cook. When the peas and carrots is warm, that's when we're gonna keep going. I added salt. The only reason that I add salt, onion powder, and garlic powder, and those are the only seasonings that I add, is because soy sauce is already salty. It's hella salty on its own. And then I added some dark soy sauce. That's salty too. So you saw me add a little bit of dark soy sauce. I add a little bit of dark soy sauce. And then I add more of the regular soy sauce. And I got 20% less sodium because, like I said, it's hella salty already. I'm going to add a little drizzle of sesame oil. And then people in my house don't like eggs. There's only like 2 people in my house that like eggs. So I scrambled 1 egg on the side. And I patted that rice down so it could start to get the crunch at the bottom. I'm going to pour this egg on top. You're not going to see me, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to mix that after I've let that sit for at least 5 minutes so that the rice could start to crunch. This is the chicken that we marinated earlier. I'm just coating it in that flour and cornstarch mixture. Like I said, just equal parts cornstarch, equal parts flour. And you just coat the chicken and then fry it. And then I set mine on a paper towel in a strainer so that the oil could leak out. See, there, bam, back to the rice after I done did that. And then, mind you, it takes time because I'm letting the rice sit so that it could get that crunch layer at the bottom because that's how we like ours. It don't take a lot. Fried rice is simple. You just got to know. But like I said, be careful with that soy sauce because it is hella salty. Sister salty, okay? I forgot to add the honey to the pot behind, so you're going to probably see, I don't know if I cut that. Yeah, you ain't see me add it, but I added the honey to that. I wasn't going to add honey because my baby was eating it, but then my baby didn't end up eating chicken anyways. He just ended up eating the fried rice. So yeah, that first batch of chicken was done. So now you're going to let this sauce that we put to the side, you're going to put it on and let it come to a boil. You're only going to let it boil for 2 minutes. And then you're going to add a cornstarch slurry. You're going to see me add that. But you're going to keep mixing because, remember, you added sugars and it floats to the bottom, you know. So the sugar floats to the bottom, so you're going to keep mixing it. Don't mind me. I was taking down my hair and I had 2 braids in the back that my sister didn't tell me about until after the fact. And I just been walking around like that for a couple hours. But anyways, mind your business. So once this starts to boil, I'm going to mix it. I'm going to turn the heat off. And I'm going to keep mixing. I'm going to add my cornstarch slurry. And then I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Then I'm going to add my chicken that I fried and set to the side. See, cornstarch slurry. It wasn't enough. I added a little more because you know how thick you want it. But keep in mind, the longer that you let it sit, the thicker that it gets. So the heat is off, but that's just how my stove is still warm, of course. So then you just give it a light toss. Be careful because if you don't let the sauce thicken up, the skin of the chicken will come off. But anyways, I'm going to call you back because I got some other shit cooking, okay? Ah.